Hi, this is Lancelot, and I have 5 life goals that I think everybody wants to accomplish in life. These are things that I have not accomplished in my life yet and am really unhappy about. So I am going to set these 5 life goals, and I'm going to start a video diary or a video journal about how I'm going to try and achieve these things. So let me list off the 5 goals first, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my situation so that you can get an idea of how crappy my situation is right now as I start. So I have literally hit a rock bottom. But my 5 life goal challenge is in no particular order. The first life goal that I have is to get down to 220 pounds. And now that might seem like, well, that's still pretty heavy for some of you guys, or, wow, he's still going to be fat. But you know what? 220 pounds for me, when I've done my body fat check and got on the scales and I've worked the numbers, 220 pounds would be about 12% body fat, which would be a huge change for me. This is going to require me losing about 120 pounds. Right now I'm like well over 300 pounds. I'm not 350 yet, and I'm not 400 or in that range, but I am pushing it pretty bad. A lot of different reasons, and as to why, but I'll get into those a little bit later. The second goal number 2, is to get completely out of debt. That's one that everybody says they want to try, but hardly anybody ever does. I've only met a couple of people that have got out of debt, and then after like a couple of months, they're right back into debt again by putting additions on their house or buying new cars, and they get excited. But I'm not going to do that. So I want to get completely out of debt, which on my income is going to be very difficult. But I know how to do it, so I'm going to do it. The third thing, goal number 3, is to earn a master's degree. I already have a bachelor's degree in social work, which explains why it's going to be hard for me to get out of debt in a lot of ways. But I'm going to go back and get a master's degree. I just sent off an application to get accepted into the Boise State School of Social Work, so I don't know if I'm even accepted into the program or not yet, but we'll let you know. I think that's a goal that everybody has or should have, is to get a master's degree. Goal number 4 is also a financial goal, but it is to earn $50,000 a year as an income. I've done this once in my life. I did it a couple of years back doing a sales job, but that was before the economy collapsed and before they started changing a bunch of stuff at my work to where that was near impossible. But I want to get back to making $50,000 a year. For some of you, depending on where you live, that might be a total joke and still keep you in poverty. But $50,000 a year where I live in a very low-income area, very rural, and so $50,000 a year, you're set up pretty nice here. That would be like $100,000 to $150,000 a year, just about anywhere else. So around here, cost of living is very low. So $50,000 a year is my first goal with that. Goal number 5 is one that a majority of people say that they want to do, and that's to get a book published. Getting a book published is obviously not easy. Not very many people do it, although, I mean, you have to have the connections. It's extremely complicated. I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's definitely something that I want to do. I've got a little bit of a head start here in the fact that I've already written a rough draft, a complete book all the way through the novel. It's over 90,000 words, 300 and something pages long. It's longer than the first Harry Potter book, but I've already written it, and it's going through the editing process right now. One of my buddies is editing it for me. That's a goal of mine, goal number 5. Those are my 5 life goals, things that I want to accomplish. Feel free to subscribe, get on here and become a follower, give feedback, video feedback. If you want to join in on the 5 life goal challenge that I'm going to do, feel free to join in and leave your comments and see what you can do. Now I'm just going to take just a second here and tell you just a little bit about my life here in about the next 1 minute, about where I'm at and why I'm at rock bottom and why I have to do this. First of all, the weight reason is already clear. I have sleep apnea. I have to sleep with the stupid mask on my face every night, which is ridiculous. I'm only 31 years old. I just turned 31. I'm just too freaking fat and too young to be sleeping with a sleep apnea mask. The more pressing issue for me is that I have got severe lower back problems. I have a extremely bulged disc in my lower back, in my L4, L5 down there. I have a lateral shift in my hips because of it, which means I freaking walk like Quasimodo when I walk around. It's terrible. I work at a juvenile correction center, which is like a prison for kids, and I can't even hardly walk back and forth around the building, and it's gotten to the point where my boss told me that if I don't get doctor's permission, then pretty soon I'm not even going to be able to come into work unless I get it fixed. I'm going to physical therapy, but I have got to lose weight because it's perpetuating the problem and making it worse. On top of all that, it's just pathetic. I'm married and I have 3 kids. It's just being a bad example, and I'm trying to be honest with myself because I want to fix it. And I'm serious about it right now, and I'm going to do it. Financially, obviously, as a social worker, I make like $14 an hour. It's for some of you that might be awesome. For some of you that might be terrible. But for me, I'm really not happy with it. It means at the end of the month right now, I have like $11 left over after bills, and I live in a dump of a house, a little crappy tiny house, with junker cars that cost like $300 when we bought them. So really not happy with that. So a lot of goals that ties into going back and getting my master's degree, getting out of debt, losing the weight, getting a book published, and a lot of that stuff. And it's going to be fun. So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be honest the whole way through, tell you how I'm doing, and keep everybody on page, and hopefully be an inspiration to other people and get the support and the accountability that I need to follow through with it. So don't forget to subscribe. Let's see, over here, I guess that's where you do it. Subscribe to my posts, and I'm going to try and post at least 3 or 4 times a week. And I know that this camera sucks. That's because I'm one poor mofo. All right.